G'day everyone, it's Annette here and welcome to my channel Alchemy Art. For quite a while I've wanted to do this dragon scale effect that you see here, so today I wanted to show you how I eventually worked it out. The technique is achieved by using two transparents and two opaques, and the opaques interact with the transparents as they fall through the resin, creating the veining or crackle effect. At first I just tried with products that I had at home, which included ArtiSue pigment powders and various resins that I had on hand here. So every time I did a project and I had a bit of resin left over, I gave it a go. And this is how I ended up finding this beautiful pearlescent effect with the Just Resin art coat. But it wasn't the crackle effect that I was after, and I also realised afterwards I've used too much of the gold and white pigment, so there's a lot still left on this side. Then I tried with Platinum 360 Plus, and I did get the crackle effect around the edges, but the gold has sunk all the way through and made a sort of puddle of gold on this side over here. So I've again used too much gold pigment powder there. And then I decided to give it a try with Platinum River Table resin, and it's a slow curing resin, and I think it allowed the gold and the white to sink all the way through, so I didn't get the crackle effect with that either. So then I went back to trying my Platinum 360 Plus again, but I ran out, and so I mixed up a bit of River Table resin in it, and I put that in and gave it a go, and I got this result. So this is closer to what I've been wanting. You can see the cracking and the veining, and it's actually quite pretty on both sides. But I decided I didn't want to use the ArtiSue products anymore because her company is no longer in production. So I ordered some more Platinum 360 Plus, and I'm going to give it a go with that. Plus I'll change to Rez pigment powder in bright gold and white satin. I'm just going to mix up my resin and put on my PPE, and I'll be back to explain the other colours. Top right one, I've got Just Resin, and it's a blue sapphire, which is a shimmery metallic colour. It's very pretty. So it's a transparent, and I've used just a tiny bit on the end of my stick for that in 40 mils of mixed resin, and Pantone Trio ink in teal. I've used 10 drops in 30 mils of mixed resin. Down the bottom left I have Just Resin in phthalo blue pigment paste for resin, and again I've scraped off most of my stick so that it's transparent, and it's in 40 mils of mixed resin. My other transparent for this is Colour Obsession Pacific Reef Blue epoxy tint. Use 10 drops of that, again transparent in 30 mils of mixed resin. Top right, Colour Obsession, and this is Turquoise Bay Shimmer pigment paste. So it's a metallic one again, and I used a tiny bit on the end of my stick in 40 mils of mixed resin, and it's a transparent again. And with this one I decided to use a metallic alcohol ink by Marabou in metallic green. I've used 10 drops of this, so this one is again transparent in 30 mils of mixed resin. Down bottom right I decided to give Rez Expressions pigment paste a go. So this one is Sapphire Blue pigment paste. And once again, when I stirred the container, I scraped most of it off and put it into 40 mils of mixed resin. And I'm going to try the Pinata ink in teal in this one. Again, 10 drops of the ink, the alcohol ink, in 30 mils of resin. And all coasters will have the two opaques. So my Rez Expressions Bright Gold is like half a teaspoon, I think, in 20 mils of mixed resin. And the white satin, again, is half a teaspoon of Rez Expressions mixed into 20 mils of the mixed resin. In all coasters, I'll also be using 10 mils of clear resin on its own. I originally saw this technique being done by Suzanna Dancks from Rez Expressions on her YouTube channel, and I'll link her channel below. Okay, let's get pouring. So in all coasters I'm going to pour the 40 mils of my first transparent. So this is the Just Resin Sapphire Blue, and then down below that is the Just Resin Phthalo Blue. I'm using my popsicle stick to push this all out to the edges. The Platinum 360 Plus, it only has a very short pot life and thickens up quite quickly and starts to cure within about 30 minutes. So I had to work quite fast once I've started pouring. Top right, in goes the Colour Obsessions Turquoise Bay Shimmer. And when I'm pushing this out to the edges, I'm not sort of pushing right down into the mould because that would damage it. I'm sort of skimming my popsicle stick across the surface to push it to the sides. Then down to my last colour, which is the Rez Expressions in Sapphire Blue. And I can already tell this is getting thicker and thicker, and I'm going to have to hurry to get this done. So I go straight on to doing my opaques, and I use half my gold to start with. So approximately 10 mils of the bright gold pigment powder, half of the white satin pigment powder, so approximately 10 mils. Then my second transparent, in this case, was the teal Pantone Tria ink. The rest of my white and the rest of my gold, and lastly was the 10 mils of clear. And I'm trying to pour from quite high up, so I'm sorry that my hand gets in the way, to help aid the colours mixing. Then straight down to the bottom left, half the gold. Oh geez, I'm a bit sloppy with that one. Half the white, both my opaques again, all of my second transparent, the remainder of the white, remainder of the gold, and the 10 mils of clear. And the aim is to push all of these colours out to the edge, and eventually they will come back in as the resin starts to cure. So top right, in goes half the gold, then half the white, then my metallic alcohol ink in green by Marabou. That's all of that one. Followed again by the remainder of my white, and then the remainder of my gold, and the 10 mils of the clear. So the hope for me is that as these cure, the gold and the white sinks through the transparents to create that crackle effect. And last one, in goes half the gold, half the white, and there goes my other transparent, the remainder of the white, the rest of the gold, and the 10 mils of clear. And as I back up, I can see there's lots of bubbles on the surface, and I don't want to use heat, so I've decided to only use the isopropyl alcohol, and I give it all a spritz. And then just before I covered it up, I wanted to show you that it's already sinking in back towards the middle, or pulling in. So the clear in the middle is getting smaller and smaller. This is an hour after I first mixed my resin and half an hour after I've poured. And this resin being quick curing, it's already started to cure, and you can see the gold and the white have sunk through, and hopefully it's created the crackle effect below. So I'm just going to cover it up overnight, and we'll check it in the morning to see what it looks like. 14 hours have gone past now, and as you can see, it's nearly all pulled back in towards the centre, and the gold and the white have sunk through nicely. There's just a small circle of clear left. I'll do this top left one first, which was the Just Resin Blue Sapphire Metallic Pigment Paste and the Tria Pantone ink in teal as my two transparent colours with the opaque white and gold pigment powders. And here we go. Oh wow, okay, it's worked. How gorgeous is that? That's amazing. I really like this effect. It's so beautiful. Next, I'll go down to the bottom left-hand side, and that was the Just Resin Phthalo Blue pigment paste, plus Colour Obsession Pacific Reef Blue epoxy tint. So both transparent colours with the opaques. The colour looks quite rich on this side. There's only a little bit of gold left in the centre, and the white is completely sunk through. Okay, let's turn it over. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. It's luminous. It looks like it's been lit from behind with a light. So far, this is my favourite with the non-metallic paste. Top right we go, Colour Obsession, turquoise base shimmer pigment paste, and the Marabou metallic green alcohol ink. And this one, it looks like an eye from this side to me. It's gorgeous just on this side on its own. Okay. Oh wow, that is so pretty. It's so different, isn't it? Using a metallic compared to a non-metallic. It just gives you a whole completely different effect. And down to the bottom right, my last one, which is the Rez Sapphire Blue pigment paste for resin and piñata in teal. Right, let's get it out of there. And of course it has to get stuck a little bit, but I'll get there. I'm definitely liking the non-metallic pigment epoxy paste best. Oh my gosh, it's stunning. Oh wow. Look, for me, I'm definitely preferring the non-metallic epoxy paste. I think I shall have to try and do this a bit more and see what else I can get. I need some different colours, I think. Okie dokie, so thank you again everyone for watching. Please considering liking and subscribing, and give me a thumbs up and give me a comment. I'd really appreciate it, and of course share my channel if you wish. Have a great day everyone, and thanks again.